5 is the freeway, slinging my banging, my swinging, my coupe, DeVille, scoop, DeVille.
Welcome. I'm Miss Jill, and this is Envy and Depth. We've been on a little break. Some of us have been out of town. Some of us are getting ready to go out of town, and some of us have been absolutely nowhere. So we have missed you here. Tonight we're just going to have a little fun, random conversation, talk about travel, talk about the holiday, Juneteenth, July 4th, and just have good conversation. Clarence, are you getting ready to go somewhere fun?
In about 17 days, yes.
You counting down. You know exactly how many days.
I
I
can
ain't
tell you
mad at
that.
me because I did
No, I would.
17 days. Yep. It might be 16 and some hours right about now, but yeah, in 17 days, I'm out of here.
On a ship?
On a ship.
A submarine or a ship? Above?
No.
Above?
Jill, do you know what kind of people was on a submarine?
That's true. It's a whole different
That's a whole nother show.
show.
Let's talk about that later. But no, I'm just going on a cruise. I'm going on a cruise for my mom's birthday.
But you've had this trip planned, though. This isn't how many times weren't you already supposed to go on this trip?
Yeah, actually, this is the third time.
Feels like it.
Yeah, because we planned it right after our last trip in 2019, but then, COVID came and they said it was only going to be a little while. Then COVID lingered. And then after COVID, it was you couldn't get on the ship unless you were vaccinated and things like that. So all the restrictions, everything is lifted. So now we're going to get out there and have a good time, get on the water and just
Nice.
enjoy ourselves.
Nice. I wonder how you traveled over the weekend. You flew, didn't you?
I'm all in my
You
business.
flew. We're going to tell all the business tonight.
Ain't none of you. None of you.
All the business.
None of you.
What did it look like as far as because I know on a local level, to me, traveling didn't seem any different than it normally does, like back and forth to the lake and such. What did you see traveling out of town, out of state?
Nothing.
How was
I mean, it was
Was
the
it all the
same.
same?
It's all the same. I mean, I went to a city where it don't sleep. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, the highway is still bumper to bumper.
But my question is, because they were, before you left, they were canceling a lot of trips like the week before you left. In the days before you left, there was a lot of trips being canceled. Did you have any flight delays?
No. Come on now. I went to one spot, Fort Wayne, straight to
Straight
Atlanta.
through. Mhm.
Straight through. I wasn't stopping. Yeah, didn't do no connecting flights. I don't do all that. It's too much work, too confusing.
It is.
It's too confusing.
I
But
feel
at the
you.
end of the day, I need a straight flight. All this going to this place and that place, then connect a flight to Georgia to get to Atlanta,
Yeah.
then go back to. No, I ain't got time for all that.
Yeah. But I remember.
But I mean, the airports was packed.
were they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
When I landed out in when I left here, the airport was packed. When I got to Atlanta, it was ridiculous. And
Heathrow, right?
Huh?
Is Heathrow the one in Atlanta? That's a
no, it ain't Heathrow.
Okay.
It's something else.
All right.
But I mean, as far as like I said, Atlanta's so big. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the highway's packed.
Yeah.
So it's just like it was a busy weekend for me. So my family lives 45 minutes apart, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
So they don't stay on the same side of town. So it was just like, okay, I'm staying over here this night. I ain't going nowhere. That's another hour across town.
Yeah. Especially in that Atlantic traffic.
Yeah,
Man, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
Well, I've never been to Atlanta.
You never been to Atlanta?
Yeah, well, I've driven through. That was a panic attack, but driving through
Have
Atlanta.
you never been to Atlanta?
I just never stopped. I just drove through.
I think everybody's been to
Not
Atlanta.
me. Not me. So with that being said, obviously Atlanta's huge, but what are some differences, especially now? I know you probably didn't go tour a whole bunch of businesses and see what was going on.
Actually, I did.
So if you did, that would be even better.
Actually, I
To
did.
just kind of give us kind of a comparison, like what do you see there that's different? And you come back here and you're like, oh, okay. Just kind of walk us through a little bit of that.
I'm gonna be quite honest.
Okay,
I
absolutely.
see a lot of black businesses, black-owned businesses. I mean, from the little rinky-dink shops that you wouldn't even think about, the trinket shops and things. Your boys will get shut down.
Really?
Yeah, because you have a black-owned business that's doing the same thing, and they actually are competing against each other and their food tastes so much better. I mean, I went to this is no exaggeration. I went to this restaurant on the side of a gas station called Angie's Place. Had chicken and waffles. Had the red velvet waffle and chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Man.
Like that.
Whew. I mean, it was perfect. But it was owned by blacks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then go down the street, a Jamaican Caribbean restaurant, went for dinner, owned by blacks.
Mm-hmm.
Went up the street for a late night snack. Black owned restaurant,
Yeah.
black owned bar. I went to the Black Wall Street Mall where every shop in there is owned by blacks. From the bar, the restaurants, the clothing stores, even the building
Yeah.
is owned by a black person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And they only serve, I mean, even the bars only serve alcohol
That's owned by
that's
black,
owned by blacks.
black brands. I
Black
heard about that. Yeah.
strictly.
Black brand.
I bet you didn't know that because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
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 Everything every spot, they had little spots where you get to do pop-up shops, all that, regular clothing stores, everything.
The whole block, basically.
It's not a block, it's a mall.
It's a mall.
The whole
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a mall. So I mean, you see the difference when you come back here and you be like, we got people, we got room, we got buildings we could do this in. Why we haven't thought of doing the same thing?
What's the answer?
Well, and the one thing is, and it's amazing. I haven't been to Atlanta. It's been since before COVID. I haven't been to Atlanta, so I know there's been some changes and things like that. But I think it's the mentality and the belief in the cultures here and there. They believe that they can get out and do it. And I'm not just going to say in Fort Wayne, but since we're in Fort Wayne, I'm going to talk about Fort Wayne. And I think a lot of other places have this, where they believe that they can do it and they get out and do it. Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Yeah.
And not only that, you have a base where you're not fighting over the same 500 customers.
Mm-hmm.
You have a broader base
Yeah.
because you have a broader demographic, you have a broader scale of people, and not only in Atlanta, because you have the Atlanta metropolitan area. That these are these little townships, towns, cities that also feed into Atlanta. So you have a broader scale of people. That's like Chicago is another one. Where you have Chicago and you have a broader scale of people. So I think our problem is that one, we don't have the belief, but two is we're trying to compete for the same numbers. There's not a different set of numbers that we can compete for.
Well, I mean, I'll look at it as, if we work together, that's first and foremost.
I agree with you.
Because I went to another spot where if we all own a little booth in this place, and if I come to your spot and I see something and they don't have my size, this dude will call over to his brother that got another spot on the other side of the place,
right.
and like, hey, do you have X, Y, Z? You know what I'm saying? Instead of working, we would rather not make that phone call and say, hey, bro, you got this in this size over there. We'd rather just try to make you buy something else out of my store versus saying, okay, if I eat, you eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I spoke to a business owner about this one time and again, because we're competing for the same, and where you say, I eat, you eat, because they know that dollar won't make or break them because they have another backup couple of dollars that stays in their community. But I was talking to a business owner one time, and a lot of times our mentality here, and I'll say here because I see it here, it's not that if I eat, you eat, it's that I'm going to come in the same business to run you out of business.
Right.
And we're not, that unity is something that's gone, and that thought is something that's gone. Whereas, again, if I sell the shoes and the socks, I can call E and say, E, they need pants and shirts to go with these shoes and socks.
Right.
And we can work it together. Even if I I sell pants and shirts too, but I don't have, like E was saying, I don't have it. Well, that's not a line I carry. E, you carry this line? Okay. And E, go to, and then you can go to Jill store, get the hat. I'm just saying that's one of the things too. But again, I think the mentality is that we don't believe we have enough people here. We don't think there's enough money within our own city or town that, we can get it. But, it's just a different mentality.
I mean, like I said, it's a totally different movement from what I've seen versus here. And like I say, if you have that mentality of, and the other mentality I've seen, that everybody got to hustle.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about drug trade.
Yeah.
They got t-shirts. They got socks.
T-shirts. They got socks. They got
they belts. They got.
they got everything. They trying to sell. They walking out in the middle of a busy street at the red light, talking about, "Hey, I got XYZ to sell." So it's just like the hustle mentality is, I got to get it. You know what I'm saying? I pulled into the gas station. It's a dude on this side and a dude on this side. One dude was selling water, $1 water. No, 75-cent waters. Other dude was selling dollar pops. Literally, like, don't buy it from out of there. Just get it from right here.
Right here.
There's nothing they can do, because simple fact, they're on public property.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally, T-shirts, socks, medallions, chains, whatever they got their hands on, they got a bundle of, they sit up on that corner and go sell it.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, the vast difference. Like, a mindset of that many people can be so different that he can be in Atlanta and say all of these things, and then come here and see this.
Well, it happens in multiple cultures, because
Yeah.
think about it. And I was just talking to a guy this weekend about this, and it's funny. If you go, you ever been to West Virginia?
Mm-mm.
You ever been to West Virginia?
No.
Have you ever thought anywhere was country? Tennessee, Mississippi, Kentucky has nothing on West Virginia. But if you take a West Virginia, whatever, West Virginian or West Virginianite, however you want to call them, you place them in a place like Dallas, they would find it uniquely different, because they don't see the things. And it's because of, like I say, a shark. If you ever heard this thing, a shark will only grow as big as his environment. So if we keep a small-minded environment mind, then that's the greatest we're going to become.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying you have to move anywhere, because you can physically move somewhere, but your environment's the same, because the one thing you carry with you everywhere you go
It's your mindset.
is you. Yeah, your mindset. So what I'm saying is it has to be a change in your personal environment to, enlarge your territory and think bigger.
Is it also consumer based? Because, let's be real, there are a lot of people from Fort Wayne who do move to Atlanta to do business.
Yeah.
They let's say they'll have a barber shop here, then they'll go to Atlanta and set up. Tattoo shop. Ahmed Tabron. I can name 10 guys right now within the last 2 years that have moved whatever their business was to Atlanta. So
Because
what do you feel? Do you think it's consumer?
It's put like this. You put 40 Fort Waynes in half of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
That's just half of Atlanta. So if I have enough space, I could go up the street and have my barbershop. You could be down the street and have your barbershop. We're not gonna catch the same clientele
Right, because there's so many. Mm-hmm.
There's so many people.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so your clientele, and depending on what side of town you stand on, your clientele. I went to Buckhead. If you know anything about Buckhead is like the snooty rich people, Peachtree and all that stuff.
Right. You sure you was in Buckhead and not Bankhead?
No, I was in Buckhead. Seen the sign. Welcome to Buckhead. Seen the sign.
You didn't notice the difference between.
Yeah, you would just notice the difference.
Yeah.
But and this is how crazy Atlanta is. From one gas station to another gas station, it might be a 40-cent difference. Literally, one gas station might say 305, other one gonna say 359,
Mm-hmm.
and they on the same block.
Right.
I'm like, y'all gas stations, y'all even got gas stations confused around here. But it's the way that they figure, hey, this is where the money side is at. So we could
Yeah.
Right.
upcharge.
We can charge it over here.
Yeah, then you go to East Point. Never go that place again.
Man, I love East Point.
Yeah, I bet you do. Hey, I seen a Piggly Wiggly too.
I
thought they had
love
closed
East
all the
Point,
Piggly
man.
Wigglies down. But
Man.
went over to East Point, and East Point gas was $3.79.
Did you go to Southwest Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
I love the SWAT. I love the SWAT.
My nephew took me all over Atlanta. So and then I'm just looking at the prices and the things. I say, how do y'all? He's like, hey, we just found the cheapest gas station. And because you, like you said, you from one block to the next block, gas station might be 50, 60 cent difference. But it's just, like I said, it has the people to do that now.
And you asked the question, is it consumer driven? Anything, yes, is based. But I also think that, it depends on the business.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on the business, because any business can strive anywhere if it has the right product, if it has the right marketability, if it has the right. One of them, and I can use this and I know this, Fort Wayne has Sweetwater. Sweetwater has been here I was in high school when Sweetwater started, so it's been here for a long time. I know several years ago, two places tried to get Sweetwater to move there. Nashville was one of them because it's a music city, and then it was somewhere out west. I believe it's Arizona, because I think they just built a warehouse in Arizona somewhere. So I believe it was Arizona at the time. But the Chuck at the time, who was the owner of Sweetwater, he said that his business had to be here in Fort Wayne for it to strive. And Sweetwater is one of the biggest music distribution companies in the world. So what I'm saying is, it's not where you are all the time. It's how you envision and how you move yourself and how you market yourself to how you make yourself big. But yeah, if you got more customers, it'd be smarter to move.
Right. Right.
It's smart
Absolutely.
to move.
Absolutely. What else? I know I didn't go anyplace cool like that, but I did go to the lake and spend some time with my family and my daughter and my brother, who's now at the ocean, sending me photos about how horrible life is at the ocean.
How could life be horrible at the ocean?
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, he sent me a picture of the ocean, beautiful view, and he was like, the weather's awful, we're going home.
Where is he?
Myrtle Beach, I think. Yeah, just at the ocean, just because. So yeah, I spent a lot of time on the water, got some sun. We've been begging for this weather, and now we definitely have it.
Yeah.
But we need to tone it down. This is too hot. Too hot. And on the radio,
Say it's too hot.
it's too hot.
How about waking up in the morning at 8 o'clock and it's 92 degrees?
I lived in Vegas. I know about that. I loved it.
So this is fine.
I loved it. No, this is different because I'm old now. Yeah. So, but they were saying on satellite radio that air conditioning is not a necessity. And I remember that when I was a landlord, that air conditioning is not considered a necessity. You tell that to somebody getting in your car on a day like today, or going home and walking in the door, like, air conditioning is not a necessity. I was dying today. I was
It
glad.
depends on where you live.
Well, you got air in your car today?
Do I have air
Yeah.
in my car? Yeah.
Yeah, imagine not having it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anything else you guys wanna share? Any other? What's East Point? I'm sorry, I gotta ask. You knew I was gonna ask. I made a note. Note. East Point.
East Point is a part of town. Atlanta is basically made up of a bunch of little cities in one city.
Okay.
So in metropolitan area. So you got East Point.
Okay.
I went to East Point and
But why'd you say he would like it?
nah.
Why would I like it?
No.
Nah.
You're not gonna tell us what East Point.
No.
East Point is put like this. I seen a real project.
Yeah, East Point. East Point is hood.
It's straight hood.
Now let me correct E, because I know
That's how I look at it.
no, you're right, but I want to speak, for the people that we might have friends in Atlanta that are residents of Atlanta now, first of all, Atlanta is really not that big. The city of Atlanta is really not that big. A lot of people,
you finna do this. I know what you finna go.
a lot of people, the Atlanta area is huge. East Point, you got now Atlanta, you have Southwest Atlanta, and you have where else is it? But East Point is in Atlanta too. But East Point in Southwest Atlanta, it depends on what part of Southwest Atlanta is. Oh, those are the hoods. Those are the places you don't want to go, but you really want to go. Those are the places you don't want to go, but you really want to go. But it is, like Fort Wayne really is not that big if you think about it. You have Fort Wayne, but at one point there was New Haven. There's
It's still
Huntertown. There's Huntertown. There's Waynedale. Waynedale.
Waynedale is part of
Huntertown is for part of Fort Wayne. Boyd used to be a separate area. So when you want to think about that, you think about that's how it is. So, what's that
It's a
song?
bunch of little
You're not from
cities.
Atlanta. Was that Lotto that had that song? You're not from Atlanta?
There's a bunch. Atlanta is nothing but a bunch of little cities.
Yeah.
That's all it
Interesting.
really is.
Yeah.
So
but
when you
East-
said you were seeing signs like of whatever you called
Buckhead.
yeah.
Buckhead.
So it's still in Atlanta, but you're literally just going into a different.
Bit different
Part of
Well, Buckhead is actually a neighborhood in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Buckhead
Buckhead.
Street.
Yeah, Buckhead is where a lot of influential black people
People
live.
stay at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always promise that you're gonna laugh or you're gonna learn something. Or today, an Atlanta history lesson. I do have some notes down. Tomorrow, what are we talking about tomorrow? Something with sports tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be a respected game, and we're going to talk about something that, a lot of us see it now, but we don't take up the cost. We don't understand, and that is the actual cost of sports. Because think about it, sports now,
Cost.
man, it's a $1 billion industry on all fronts. Be it the equipment, be it the travel, be it the commercialism. It's a cost on all of it. And then we're going to look at, how parents, especially with these travel teams, think about it. Your child is traveling, 3, 6, 9 months? It depends on what they're on. 3, 6, 9 months out of the year traveling, you got to think about, you got cost of hotels, food, all of that.
A lot of that stuff comes with sponsors too.
A lot of it do, but you still got to pay a portion.
But see, something, and I've seen this. I'm gonna have to find it. It's crazy how travel leagues and things like AAU, basketball, football, whatever, one team might have 6 different teams, and you might make one of their teams, but if you ain't on that all-star team, the people who makes the other teams, that's who actually pays for it. Because if I'm on an all-star team and the coaches already promised my mom I ain't got to pay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be-
does happen.
That'll be an interesting show. My brother just signed my niece up for that, and lots and lots of money. And like you said, they're in Chicago, they're doing hotels, they're doing this and that. Well, then she hurt herself. She's out the rest of the thing. They've paid all of this money, so that'll be a
Are they
very
on the team? They're probably still paying if she's
a
on the
very
team.
good
in
show.
the
Yeah,
league.
she's on. Yeah, she's on. Anything else? We good?
We good.
Nothing else you want to share about Atlanta?
Nah.
About travels?
I'm not traveling. I'm out of here. That's all it is. I'm out of here.
17 days is a long. You still have a
16
minute.
days- Nah.
Bye, Felicia.
Really, E? Really, E?
Bye, Felicia.
It ain't like I'm going to miss you.
I hope not.
It ain't like I'm going to miss you.
I hope not. If you're thinking about me while you on your cruise, we have an issue.
No, we ain't going to have that issue.
Okay, then. So we have an issue.
Man, I ain't
Well-
thinking about you while you was going those 3 days.
Exactly.
We will keep up with Clarence's 17 days and live vicariously through him
I'm
for
gonna
those
trip
of
you.
us who cannot leave the city of Fort Wayne.
I'm a tripping so you can't go.
Join us tomorrow at 8:30.
8:30, respect the game.
Respect the game as
Respect
we
the
talk
game.
about sports, the class of sports, and a little extra, I'm sure. So as we always say when we exit the show, E,
Always protect your mind.
thank you for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow.
High speed chase, 405 is the freeway. Slanging my, banging my, swinging my coupe. DeVille, scoop, DeVille.